Hey, good morning. It's Thursday and it's weigh-in. And you'll be shocked to know I lost a pound. I'm shocked because y'all know when I don't feel good, I don't eat good. So probably 2/3 of the time I've not been eating good. And I've honestly not overeaten, which is shocking, but I've eaten bad choices. Now, yesterday I overeat, and I'll tell you, about that in a minute. But I know it's not fluid because I've not lost any of that. My leg is still just as big. Matter of fact, I had to order 2 pair of shoes online because that's where I can find my shoes because I have a really big foot, and I wear a wide. So I ordered some slip-on shoes, like a tennis shoe, and then a clog looking thing, but flat because I cannot wear heels. I can't walk on heels. I can barely walk on flats. And the other ones hadn't come, but the tennis shoe came. And so I was excited when I saw the package because it's getting to where now, I'll wear my open toe sandals. I don't care about protocol. But it's getting cold enough now to where I need some, coverage on my toes. And I have a pair of shoes that I do wear, but they have like a strap, and the way my foot is, and it's like a cut open, the shoe cut open and a strap. And the way my foot is, it just bubbles up above that, and it's, ugh. So I thought, well, these will be good because I don't have to bend over, I don't have to twist my back. I have a long, about that long shoehorn that is super helpful. Anyway, they came a couple days ago and took the first one out. Couldn't even get my foot in it. And it was a 12 wide because I wear 12s. 12 wide. Couldn't even get that much of my foot up in it. So they went back the very next day. I just put it right back in the pack, put the little paper over on it, shoved it back in the bag, and my little postman came up there and got it yesterday. I told him, I said, you just gave it to me the day before. Here you go. You're taking it back, So I'm hoping the next pair coming. I can't remember. They made one of them in a double wide, and one they didn't. And I can't remember, honestly, if I ordered double wide, because I try to read the description. There's some people, a majority of people say they run small. Then I'll try to, go bigger. But I can't remember if I did a wide or a double wide. So if the ones coming, if I like them, if those are the ones in the double wide, I'm going to exchange them and do that. I hope they fit, because if they don't, I'm out of options. I looked on the men's, and they don't have any of the slide-ons like I want. Now, a couple of years ago, I had a pair of just slide-on, clog-looking things, with the cork sole. I know you know what I'm talking about. And I wore them to death. You couldn't tell they was a man's because they looked just like the woman's. They just sold in the men's section in men's sizes. So I wore them to death. They're out there in the big room. That's what we'll put on, like if we're going in and out to the building, to the garage. We call it the building, we call it the garage, whatever. And it's muddy. They are, I try to get them out and wash them off. They are destroyed because David will throw them on to walk out there. He'll throw on, if he can't get his foot in my shoe I got down there, he will just throw it on and keep walking. That man does not care. He just does not care. So, anyway, I lost a pound. Now, I'm going to give you the update. I had my 2 doctor's appointments yesterday, and y'all remember, I told you I would let you know how they go. So, be prepared. There's going to be some crying. I'm thinking, just when I think I got it all out of my system, then I find out I didn't. I was writing somebody an email this morning. She had, emailed to check on me. Just writing and squalling. So, I'm going to try not to, but I ain't making no promises. So, if you don't want to see me crying again, just go and flip it off. I don't care. But if you want to know what these doctors told me, here we go. So, the first morning doctor he's my lung doctor. I have pulmonary hypertension. He's my lung doctor who I contacted about this sleeping because he had helped me get my CPAP supplies and my CPAP situated in the past when my actual sleep doctor I couldn't get him to do anything. So that's why I contacted him. And that's when he told me, he said, well, as luck would have it, I'm now board certified in sleep medicine. So come and I will help you. So I saw him yesterday. Now I'm just going to tell you, right off the bat, my day started ill. I had to drive an hour. It was on the other side of Charlotte. So sitting in a car for an hour is painful. I get there, and I didn't really see he's in a new place now. He used to be downtown Charlotte, and I was thankful I did not have to go there. So I was fine going where I was going because I could take the outer loop and all that. Well, I get there, and it's a hospital. I didn't know he was in like the physician's plaza of a hospital. So I ride around the parking lot. I can't find a parking spot anywhere. All the handicaps, I have a handicap sticker. All those are taken up. So the one I found was like 5 double rows away from the building. And I'm already panicking, having to walk that far, having to hold myself up. I could not figure out his suite number. I couldn't see any signs that, said, he's in there. I didn't realize at the time that it was a physician's plaza. Like the one hospital I go to, it says it on the building. There was nothing I could find on this building. So I sit there and I'm like, well, maybe it's somewhere else. So I ride around to the other side of the building. I get in a dead end, what they call it, truckers call a fishbowl, where you get in there and you got to turn around to get back out. Where they take like deliveries. So then I come back out and I drove back around and I found that same old parking area, and I called them because I'm right at appointment time, and I know I'm going to have to walk, and I'm not fast. So I called to ask her, and you could tell she just was not having it. Apparently she didn't want to be at work. She was just very, you know how that sometimes people talk like that. I wouldn't have been as mad had I not told her exactly where I was. There was the building, this side of the building said Woman's Center, Woman's Clinic, something to that. Big letters on top. So that wing was the woman's area. In front of me was apparently, the hospital. And there was big numbers that you could see. Big numbers on the door for the building. Which was the numbers of the address that I went to. So I just called and told her, I said, I have an appointment with Dr. So-and-so. I said, I'm in the parking lot and I'm lost. I don't know how to find you. And I told her where I was specifically. And I told her those numbers. Yep, that's where we're at. 3rd floor. We're in the hospital right there. Go in that door. Okay. I go in that door. She didn't tell me I was on the whole opposite side of the hospital. So I walked from the patient side of the hospital all the way through to get over to the physician's side of the hospital. I was exhausted. When I got up and realized I was in a patient wing, patient rooms, there was a nurse at the station. I had to ask her, where is this? She told me, go down here, you go down there, then you look for the carpet. So I'm here and I'm here and I'm here. I don't see a carpet. Well, there's this sweet, I am just eat up with these sweet little girls this week. She seen me looking and she's like, because she helped me. I said, honey, yes, you can. I'm looking for, sweet whatever. I said, she told me to look for the carpet. I don't see no carpet. So she come out there and she pointed me down another hall. She said, down this hall. Go down there. There is the carpet. Then, that's where the suites start. Thank goodness theirs was the very first one. By the time I got down there, it was the very first one. Okay. So I finally get in there. Wasn't happy, but I didn't act out. I was, I heard the voice of the woman who checked me in, and I know that was her. I know for a fact that was her that told me to get in there. So I checked in, and by that time I'm having to go to the bathroom bad because I had been in the car for so long. And I asked her where the restrooms were. Did she have restrooms? So she points out round past the elevators. Now this hospital had elevators everywhere you went. When somebody points to you and tells you to go somewhere, where do you go? You go in the direction they point. I come out the door, I go in the direction she points. I pass the elevator that I passed. I end up all the way back down at the hall where that same little housekeeping girl is. And she goes, asking me, did I need help again or something? I'm like, honey, I said, she told me there was a bathroom down here. She goes, no, ma'am. She goes, they're all the way back down there. She walked me. Instead of telling me, she walked me all the way back down to the bathroom. Turns out there was elevators on the other side when you come out the door, and then the bathroom's around there. Well, then, had she pointed that way, I could have saved myself a whole lot of more walking. So, I was ill about that. Then I go sit over there waiting on the doctor, and I bet I didn't wait 5 minutes, but I had already fallen asleep. When she came to get me, I had already, fallen asleep. And so I went in and I was telling the little girl how I had to walk and everything. And she wasn't having it. She said she was telling her supervisor, because she said, our job is to make a good first impression so you know that you can trust us and, we're taking care of you. And she goes, there was no excuse for that. She said, I'm telling my supervisor. I'm like, okay. And so then anyway, my doctor came in. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. I told him. He said, well, how long has it been? And he looked on there and he said, I was supposed to see you in a year. I'm like, well, nobody called me, so I assumed I was cut loose. He goes, we had problems with that. So anyway, he did. There was one good part of my day. One. My primary doctor, she had me do a heart echo this summer, and I honestly can't remember why. Something was going on that she wanted a heart echo done. I don't think it was from the pulmonary hypertension, because she didn't diagnose me with that. He's my pulmonologist. He's who does that. So I really don't know why she did it, because, I done told y'all my memories of that. He said, well, here, let me look at your echo. So he looked at it, and he had an assistant in there with him, and he was rattling off her, this is this number, this, all that Dr. Lingo talk. And he said, I said, so it's good? He said, it's normal. He said, it's normal. So the one good thing is that pulmonary hypertension is now normal. I do not have a problem with it. So knock on wood, it stays that way. I don't know what causes it to go normal. I do know I read that when you have it, you have it. So I guess maybe there's degrees of it. I don't know. So at least my degree is normal. We'll put it that way. The parts that he was concerned with have gone back to normal. So that was one good thing. Now, we talked, extensively about my sleeping, or my not sleeping and my falling off asleep, dozens of times a day. And he just flat out told me, he said, you're sleep deprived. He said, this sleep thing, he said, it's an active thing on your part. He said, there's things you're going to have to do, because it'll take 2 weeks to retrain your body to sleep different. He said, so 2 weeks, we've got homework. I've got homework. And I sat there and started crying to him. I was just talking to him, and I just started crying. I said, I told him, I said, everything gets on my nerves. I said, everything gets on my nerves. And I just started crying. I said, and this, he goes, it's all a part of you not sleeping. You're sleep deprived. You're tired. You're exhausted. You're irritable. You're emotional. He said, these are all products of that. He says, we're going to get this sleep under control. So, this is the hard part. Y'all don't know me to know I love a dark house. I've already told you I like a quiet house. I like a dark house. I never, unless I'm in the kitchen filming or cooking, there are no other overhead lights on in my house. Matter of fact, when we had rain damage in here through our ceiling fan back earlier in the year, we've just never replaced it. So I don't even have an overhead light in the living room. I have 3 lamps. I keep 1 lamp on at the TV, and that's just for security purposes. Just so somebody thinks somebody's up. Whether it works or not. Anyway, this is what I do. And I have a lamp on either side. This is where I sit in my chair, and I have a table and a lamp on each one. They only come on if I need to see something, and then they go right back off. My husband, he calls me a vampire, because I've been that way my whole married, life. I just like a dark house. I don't know if it's just cozy to me, or I don't know. Hold on. My coffee is, it's getting cold. I need it. Um, so I'm now having to sleep in the chair because I can't lay flat in the bed, which is, that aggravates me too, because David just bought me a new bed because our old one, I was like sleeping down in a gully, and it was really affecting my back. So he bought me this new bed, which is lovely. It's a wonderful bed. And now I can't even lay on the bed because I can't, it won't stop twinging on me, burning to lay flat. So I've started sleeping in here in this chair, which it keeps this hip over here sore because it's not really a spring, I don't think. Maybe it's just the way the chair's made. So you can't win for losing. So the other night I brought my CPAP machine in here and put it beside this because I've not been sleeping with it because I fall asleep before I have time to put it on. My mistake is I go back there and lay on, well, the other day I didn't even do anything. I just got in the bed and like situated down. Next thing I know, I woke up, still have my glasses on and everything. No CPAP. So then once I wake up, the pain starts and I'm up. So it just cycles around and around and around. So I brought that in here, and when I can try to not fall asleep and try to remember to put it on now, this is from someone who I've had it, like I said, years. Religiously, I use my CPAP. I'm not one of these, I maybe use it, I maybe won't. Back when I would take naps during the day, my CPAP at night, I can't sleep without it. It goes on vacation when I ever get one. Cannot sleep without it. So the fact that I have been sleeping without it is very out of the norm. So I made sure he knew that I'm very compliant with it. It's just the way my sleeping has gone down. I'm just not doing it. So this is my homework. This is what I have to do to try to retrain my body. He said, we're going to pick a time that's going to be your sleeping time. He said, whether it's the bed, the chair, whatever you call your bed. Okay, this is just going to be your sleeping time. So we picked 11 at night to 5 or 6 in the morning. He said, human bodies need adults 7 hours at least a night. So you're going to go to bed at 11 o'clock. You're going to sit in that chair. You're going to put your mask on, and you're going to lay there. He said, if you wake up, that's fine. He said, you can get up, go to the bathroom, or you can get up and get you a drink of water. But you're going to go right back in that chair, and you're going to put your mask back on. I don't care if you're not sleeping. You're going to lay there with that mask on in that chair. You cannot eat, cannot look at your phone, no TV. He said, and when you go to bed, it's going to be completely dark. There's going to be no lights on. It's going to be completely dark. Okay. Last night, number one, I did it. I went to come over here at 11 o'clock like I was supposed to. I put my mask on. I woke up once, I know of, maybe twice. Got up. I think I went to the bathroom. I came back. I put it right back on, and I was up at, I think, 5:30. So he said 5 or 6, so I got on up. Now, when I get up, I have to turn all my lights on because he said your body has to know, okay, now it's time to wake up. It's not sleeping time. He said, and the fact that you sit during the day where you sleep during the night, you really have to let your body know that it's awake time. He said, because when your body gets in that chair, it realizes, oh, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be sleeping. Then you're going to start sleeping. So here I am with my lights on in here. I hadn't been to the kitchen to turn them on yet, but I declare if I got to sit here with the kitchen and the dining room, got 2 kitchen lights, the dining room light, and 3 lamps in here, I just don't know. That is torture to me. That sounds so idiotic, but it is. That's torture to me to sit in a lighted house. It's just not comfortable to me. So I'm also going to do a new sleep study. We'll get that done. Which, I've had several of those, so that ain't no big deal. They're easy. They just stick electrodes on your head. You lay in the bed with a mask on. Half the night you have it on, half the night you don't. So, my cut from Joan. Don't you love it? I love it. So that was that. Then I go back and see him in March and see how we've come. Okay. Now, fast forward to the afternoon, and I went to the neurosurgeon. Now, y'all remember, this is the third one. This is the one that the chiropractor referred me to when he realizes what we were doing there is not working. So, long story short, no help. I'll get no help because of my weight. Plain and simple. The difference in this visit and the other two, this man talked to me like a human. He had a bedside manner, and he was concerned, and he did not talk down to me or condescended to me. And, I left in tears, but for a whole different reason. He explained to me why. Your A1C also has to be a certain number, or they cannot do it. And you cannot smoke, or they cannot do it. He said, what has happened was, he said, the government stepped in. He said, if I, as a surgeon, have X amount of complications, the government says, oh, Dr. So-and-so had this many complications. Well, he cannot practice anymore in this hospital. He cannot do this surgery anymore over here. He said they don't take into consideration the complications came from a smoker. The complications came from someone overweight. The complications came from someone with diabetes. He said the government does not differentiate. So they're coming in and they're regulating something. To me, they don't have a right to be in. They don't have a right to be in our health care. That's between us and our doctors. And that's how I feel about it. So he said their hands are tied. Even if they wanted to work on me, they cannot because of my BMI. He said your BMI has to be 40 or below. Good Lord, mine's in the 50s. You know how long I got to go? I don't think it's ever going to happen. So he said to get back with my doctor who I get my injections from, because he knows him, he used to work with him. And I'm like, well, he's already told me for the type of pain I have, he can't do anything else. He said, well, go ahead and just get back with him again, and just to make sure, I'm talking about my nose is getting tight, just make sure that there's nothing he can do, because there's nothing I can do. There's nothing anybody can do for me. He had an assistant in with him, and he told me, he said, now we want to show you something. He said, I'm going to let her tell you because she's the one that noticed it. She discovered it. He said it wasn't me. A doctor that admitted he didn't do something. He's a good man. He really was. I liked him. If I ever do get to the point of having surgery, that's who I'm going to. So she turned the screen around, and they had the last MRI I had was September of 18. Side by side with the last x-ray I had, which was March of 19. So that's 6 months in between. Now, I don't know what has happened from March to today, but I can only imagine. I think I'm going to see if the chiropractor will send his x-ray up there and tell me what kind of change was from March till October, November, October, maybe, one of those months. But she caught how rapidly my back is degenerating. And he agreed. He said it is rapidly degenerating. The difference where the disc was slipped, it slipped even more. And they said for that 6 months time period, the way it was going was very fast. So time's running out. No, I'm not going to cry. I'm not. Time's running out. And you would think that would make me go in here and just say, whew, I'm going to jump on this lifestyle and I'm going to knock it out of the park. But you know what it does? It makes me hopeless. It makes me feel like maybe I will cry. I don't know. It makes me feel like it is an unattainable goal because I have so far to go. And I know it is attainable because I see people every day that have done it. But in my mind, I'm thinking, how will I survive suffering all the time that it takes to do it? And then the rational part of me says, but if you don't do it, you're going to suffer even longer. So they're conflicted within me. I can't get it ironed out. But I just got the news yesterday, so it's not like I've had time to process it, because it it is something I got to process. I got to process the fact that I can't be helped. I got to process the fact that I have to live like this until I'm not living like this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I really don't. I would rather have another baby naturally. I would rather have another gallbladder attack. I had my gallbladder removed back in 2000, and before that happened, I was having serious attacks. I didn't know what it was until we went on vacation, and we were at the beach, and it hit me. I ended up in the hospital in the emergency room, and that's when they told me, that's what it was. I wouldn't go to the hospital or the doctor before because I was convinced they were going to tell me it was a gas pain, that I was just going to go and they were going to say, oh, okay, gas pain. So I was embarrassed to do it, so I didn't go. And since I didn't go, they called me. My mama's friend at work called me at home and said, has your mama found you? I said, no. She said, well, they called her because they couldn't get you and said, you got to get to the hospital right now. You've got to go right now. You've got to have surgery right now. Scared me to death. David was on the road, so I had to call his daddy and just try to find him and let him know that I've got to go to the hospital because they want to do emergency surgery. You think that don't scare you? That scared the you-know-what out of me. I go. I had too much of an infection, and my gallbladder was full of gallstones and full of infection that I had to take antibiotics for. It was 2 or 3 days just to get to the point that they could do the surgery. So they scared me I won't say for nothing, because it was to the point of it was going to rupture or whatever it does, it was going to do it. So they were looking out for me, and they were making sure, But I remember that day I walked into that hospital in the emergency room, and all I did was tell them my name. And honey, they rushed me through like I was the Queen of England. I'm telling you, come on, Miss Maness. Oh, straight on back I went, and they got old me. So that was a different time, I'll tell you that. But so there you have it. There's my weigh in. I lost 1 pound. My husband's calling, so I'm gonna wrap it up. And I love y'all, and I'll talk to you later.